Good afternoon, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of And That's the Game. It is 4 o'clock on the East, 1 o'clock on the West. We are still live on set, so to speak, as we are in the state of Rhode Island this week. Of course, our network is based here, so it is a good and lucky chance to be at the home base for a while, and we have brought you two great games And we are back. My apologies on that, as we just had a very brief power failure that knocked us off the air for a moment. So apologies on that one. Oh, the technical difficulty world that is everything that we do on a daily basis. As I was saying, we had two great games in the RIIL this week, as we featured both a boys soccer game earlier this week with Central and LaSalle Academy, and then yesterday the girls soccer match with Mount St. Charles and Punagansett. Of course, we will have games tomorrow and Saturday as well that we are featuring, plus also Sports World Weekly coming to you live from Cranston West High School on Saturday. So lots of action still left to go on this special week at the home base of Sports Fan Base Network Rhode Island. So with that being said, into today's show, and that's the game for today, is going to focus on the Boston Celtics and the upcoming NBA draft. More particularly, the fact that we have heard a lot of questions and a lot of consternation over what are the Celtics going to do. Certainly, they have been a good team in the regular season. They have been a fairly okay team in the playoffs. But they seemingly don't have the next piece of the puzzle that they need to put this team back to, say, reference the 2008 team that won the NBA championship. There's a lot of questions over whether Gordon Hayward should still be here. I think he fits in well to Brad Stevens' system. I think he should stay. There's a lot of questions over whether or not the Celtics need to draft high. That's possible. Or whether or not it might be moving draft picks to get a marquee player that could complete the big three with a Smart, Hayward, etc. The name that got bounded around today was Jrue Holiday. Holiday's had his ups and downs. He's tried to fit in where he could in New Orleans. That didn't necessarily work out to his favor. New Orleans isn't exactly the same place they are now, or were, with Anthony Davis gone. Would Jrue Holiday fit here in Boston? I'm going to add this one with a emphatic capital letters yes. This is a player who, one, embodies everything that the Celtics organization already is. One of the most selfless players in the NBA. Someone who cares not at all about himself. Who cares about his team, his teammates, who cares about his community, and who cares about his family. Remember, when his wife Lauren Holiday got sick, Jrue stopped playing basketball so that he could spend every single second, every single hour, every single day that he had by his wife's side while she dealt with her health issues. He stopped playing basketball. There are not many NBA players I can think of in the 30 plus years that I've been watching the NBA that I could say have done, did, or will do something like that. We talk so many times about these community heroes, and yes, there are many of them in the NBA that are true community heroes. But Jrue Holiday is from an absolutely other cut of cloth. I have never seen a man who is more committed to his game, his team's game, his teammates' game than Jrue Holiday. This is a man who is a longtime veteran in the NBA and is still first one into the gym, last one out, as if like he's a rookie trying to impress the coaches. This is a man who sits down at the end of every single game, takes a look at the game and says, not that was the best highlight I had of the night. It was, what do I need to do better next time? This is a man who is as cerebral now about this game as he was in college, as he was in high school, as he was a young player playing around on the playgrounds. One thing that I saw out of the Celtics season was a little bit of a lack of leadership. Sure, we have great players on the court. We have players who can move the ball around. We have players who can execute every single one of Brad Stevens' plays. But we didn't have that one single player that was like the big brother, the father figure type player. We had that back in 08 when we had Rajon Rondo and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and many more. You saw it. You saw the leadership that came out of them. We had that a little bit in the years following with players like Isaiah Thomas, as young as he was. But since then, since the departures of many of those players, I haven't in the past couple of years seen that. I didn't at all this year. And sure, everything was discombobulated and the bubble sent us into a frenzy. But one way or another, there was always something missing from the Celtics being that complete team that put them over the top of the Miami Heat and into the NBA Finals and maybe on to another NBA championship. Brad Stevens has a lot to answer for, and so does Danny Ainge as general manager for the moves that they've made in the past couple of years. However, I believe, as I always do, there's always a mission. There's always a method behind the madness. This might be it. The Celtics have an abundance of draft picks coming up, and they've got a bunch they can move around. 3 in the first round that could turn into that big chess piece that they need to complete the board. That chess piece could be Jrue Holiday. A Jrue Holiday backcourt with Haywood and Smart and a few others and Brad Stevens at the top of his game in a regular 82-game season, though for 2021 will be just short at 72. I think the Eastern Conference might want to look out, and so too, maybe the rest of the NBA. To Danny Ainge, go make the trade. Get Jrue Holiday to Boston, and that's the game. For November 12th, 2020, we thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Take care. Have a good night. Stay safe. Socially distance. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Listen to the public health professionals, and we will pull through this all together. We know it is a very trying time, and we know that the news is getting worse and worse every single day. We will get through this, and we will be in a stadium together cheering our fans on very soon. Good night. Well.